Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a good time in the presence of the Lord. Are you sure? Okay, genres of music. My sister just used the word music genres in church musicking. And just so you know, my HOD, thank you for coming, sir. So you know, musicking has to do with everything that has to do with music performance. Both everyone involved and also the performance. So you are basically with us even by listening to us. According to the person who formed the word, his name is Christopher Small. Christopher Small, but very mighty, you know. So he said, music is something that has to do with participatory. Everyone who is participating in the music, both the listeners and the performers. So all of us right here, we are musicking together. So talking about genres of music would be very difficult to talk in 5 minutes, but let's go back to the very background, the early church. Can we have Colossians 3 verse 16, so we read together. Okay, can we read together? Let the word of Christ dwell in you, richly in all teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with, can we mention 3 things written there? Psalms, hymns, and these are the church started. Music started from, you cannot even mention when music, people have been singing to God. The angels sing, no, on earth we sing. But Apostle Paul talked about advising the church in Colossae that they should sing with what? Psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Teaching yourself and singing. So we want to say that from the church life, the genres that we have were basically 3. And they are what? Psalms and what? And what? Spiritual songs. But as time goes on, music begins to evolve. If you want to look at the very historical development of music, we will not live here today, but music evolved. And at this time, even in the Old Testament, at this time, there were not much of the instrumentations, no instruments, because of the way Christians were hiding to do their Christianity because of persecution. But in the very Jewish worship, we observe that there were tambourines, right? There were cymbals and all of those worship. So as at that time, music was loud, but as at the time, music was very what? Very quiet. And then it evolved, and there were many deliberations. Now we have basic 4 classical eras. Now, when we say classical eras, we mean music that are classical. That you don't just, they have patterns. They follow rules and regulations. There are certain things that guide them. One of such is the Baroque era. The Baroque era, we have songs of Handel. We saw our sister Sharon sang Love Ye the Lord from the Baroque era. That's the 17th century, so 1600 to about 1750. That's the Baroque era. Then we have the classical era, and then we have the romantic. Music begin to evolve. If we start singing some Baroque songs, you cannot bear resemblance with them as at now because you're not accustomed to such kind of music. You cannot bear resemblance. But it moved down to the contemporary era, and then we have different genres in the contemporary era. We have jazz, we have pop, we have rock, we have Afro music. What we just sang just now is actually a 20th century era song. Although, like our HOD, we always say, the white people cannot tell us how we've been doing our music. Just that the first time they started documenting it, it was in the 20th century. They now said African music started in the 20th era. And that's not so true because we've been singing right from the world, right? So, but we have different eras, different genres. Like we said rock, we have classical, we have even music for meditation. There's a community called the Taizé. What they do, they just play music and meditate. Music for meditations. There are different genres, we will not be able to exhaust them. But let us go back to the beginning. In the beginning, Paul was advising them. He said, what? Let us sing, let us teach and admonish each other with what? Psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. So what you should know today is that the Psalms contains more details about Jesus than any other book. The Psalms. If you want to do your research, you can do that later. The Psalms contain more details about the life of Jesus, more than any other book in the Bible. No wonder Paul was advising them, admonish yourselves in psalms and in hymns. Why the hymns contains theological truth. and ideas of Christian that is embedded in Christian life, Christian living. So when you sing the hymns, unknowingly to you, you're already singing the word of God. You find out that I find that for me, most of the word of God that I knew was from the hymns as we sing. As we make, especially when you sing songs from Fanny Crosby or Martin Luther who sang, "Almighty Fortress is our God." You find out that you just get the details of our Christian faith. Then when you are lost in the realm where you worship God and you begin to sing and sound begins to come out from deep within. So today, if you cannot remember anything, remember that we should sing to God in what? The psalms, hymns, and spiritual song. God bless you.